Welcome to Paranormal Perspective. I'm John Lorden, and joining me as always is...
Christy Arnhart.
Christy, I just noticed we color coordinated today. Good choice on the blue shirt.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is a show where Christy Arnhart does research into a paranormal or paranormal adjacent, sometimes cryptozoological, hint, topic. Mm-hmm. And we record it in front of a live audience. She presents her case. I try to tear her case down so that I could become the full-on skeptic I want to be, but she keeps dragging me back. I was just editing the version about the plane crashes, and I'm just so moved by that episode, and especially with how everyone felt coming out of that. There's just certain things that, I can't be skeptical about. Are we going to see the same kind of thing today? I don't know. Christy, what are we looking into?
Today, we're going to be discussing the Boggy Creek Monster, or I always pronounce this wrong. Folk. That's it. The Fal Monster in Falk, Arkansas.
Fal Monster. Wow.
Yes.
Look,
looks like
the closed captioning thinks we're saying something else. Fal Monster.
Yeah. Well,
I thought
close.
folk that time. No, it's Falk, right? F-A-L-K?
No, well, it's spelled F-O-U-K-E, but it's pronounced, it sounds like folk.
Like Falk. Folk.
Falk.
Falk. I guess.
Falk.
I don't know, like foul.
Falk.
Falk. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And
we've got...
by the way,
yeah,
Wolfenstein is the one who requested this one. So thank you, Wolfenstein.
Thank you, Wolfenstein. So we've got a monster we're looking into. What is the question that we're going to put to our live audience so they can decide who wins this big argument we're about to have?
And I have a feeling we will. Is the Boggy Creek Monster a hoax?
Boggy Creek Monster a hoax. I like it. All right.
Now, there are only 808 people who live in Falk, Arkansas.
Okay.
It's a small town, not very far from Texarkana. It's in southwest Arkansas, and it's in what we call the bottoms. There's a lot of swampy land around there, and tons of vegetation. I mean, it's hard to get through. It's swampy. It's humid and stinky, but it's a nice place to visit.
I was just going to ask, is it a place you would go to? Have you been there?
I've been through there, but I haven't ever,
haven't stopped. Just drove right through.
Just drove through. Yeah.
Okay.
But the whole town, and we've got pictures, y'all. The whole town is centered around the tourist trade for the Boggy Creek Monster.
Oh, no way.
So people in southwest Arkansas have been seeing the Boggy Creek Monster for nearly a century now.
Okay.
And people, what they describe is the creature's at least 7 foot tall. It has red eyes. It stinks to high heaven. It's broad through the chest, real broad, really hairy, long arms with claws. I've seen some people describe it with reddish brown fur. So this is our own little special Sasquatch. And the weird thing about it is, on all of this, I keep getting a Sasquatch type creature. I mean, how many different types of Squatch are there out there?
I don't know.
They all sound like...
Apparently there's different... Yeah, because who was the cousin? We also had the cousin... Well,
that was Skunk Ape.
Skunk Ape, yeah. We had Skunk Ape. Now we're looking at Boggy Creek. You know what I'm wondering, though? How does anyone know what he smells like?
Well, you get used to the smells. And I know here in the South especially, you smell a lot of vegetation and dirt. You smell some decomposition from the plants, and there's always water in the air. It's real heavy. So even near this swampy area, people are like, this stinks worse than what we're used to.
Oh, okay. Okay, so he has a really bad smell. It's even
really
worse.
Bad.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, they said even the creek could not wash away his stink. Poor stinky guy.
I guess so. Yeah.
But
You
he just
haven't stopped at Monster Mart?
mm-mm,
Oh, come on, Chrissy. Look at this place.
no,
That looks awesome.
I know. And if it wasn't 3 hours, or it's almost 4 hours away, I would have went this week and took some
Mm.
video and whatnot. But it's too far away, too close to Texarkana. Don't want to do that.
Okay.
But yeah, all these pictures you're seeing, these are all Falk. Because of course they have a huge tourist trade. People have been seeing and reporting Squatch. I'm going to say he's a Sasquatch. I know they say Sasquatch-like, but I'm putting my foot down. Every time I read about a special one of these Squatches, they're always like, it's a Sasquatch-like creature. I'm like, what's the difference? You just described a Sasquatch. The only difference with Skunk Ape is that, he's got a little white on him.
Yeah, well,
They're
and
still...
Bigfoot knows how to take a bath, though. He doesn't stink. I don't know if you know
Bigfoot
that.
stinks.
He actually smells like roses. No, he smells really nice.
Well, I would like to know how he does that because his cousin Skunk Ape does not know. Pass
No,
that along to the damn dirty ape. Maybe he can get it out there.
Bigfoot, he steals deodorant. You didn't know that? He sneaks into mini marts in the middle of the night, and he knows he has this weird third sense where he can avoid the cameras, which, is part of the real lore. So he avoids the cameras, and he sneaks in and he steals whatever he needs from the mini mart, and mostly it's deodorant. So, yeah. Well, you should look into this stuff more.
At least he knows where to go.
Who's the expert here?
Oh my gosh. So yes, all of this land, especially where we're at, used to be inhabited by indigenous tribes. The tribes talked about this Bigfoot-like creature. The first recorded sighting goes back to 1834. And everyone was complaining that there was a hairy wild man that lived in the area and was scaring everybody. It wasn't until the 1900s, though, that all of this really started to take off. And if you go, I believe, is it Boggy Creek Monster.com or what is that?
You just want me to say the F word over and over, don't you? I think it's Falk. Yeah, falkmonster.net.
Go to falkmonster.net. It has all of the reported sightings down.
Yeah.
You could,
This is crazy.
All the way up to present day.
Yeah, from 1908. So not all of them. There was a couple before it, but the earliest they have here is Falk resident Willie Smith claimed his sister saw the creature around 1908 when she was 10 years old at the south end of Mercer Bayou. That's a weird one because that's like the, oh, I know this guy type of situation, Oh, my sister saw this creature. But 1910, the Gazette mentions a strange beast supposedly loose in the area near Spring Lake Park in Texarkana.
Which is close.
Okay. But yeah, there's a ton. Let's check out the most recent ones real quick. All right, we got 3 new ones here. Okay, 2023. A hunter observed a dark ape-like creature from a deer stand for approximately 15 minutes. The creature appeared to be looking at the hunter as it hid behind a tree. A photo was taken of the creature. Do we have that photo?
I pulled up as many photos as I could find.
I'm just curious. I hope we run into that one. 2024. A prominent folk researcher, Falk? Falk? Is that what?
Falk.
A prominent Falk researcher observed a tall, dark, upright figure walking through the woods near a swampy lake at a distance of only 30 yards. The subject, which was not human, was visible for several seconds as it walked through an open spot in the thick trees. The researcher and the 2 other individuals pursued it, but it slipped into the woods and was not seen again. And the most recent, 4 hours. Oh, is this tied to that last story? 4 hours after the researcher saw the bipedal figure in the woods, see previous entry, another person saw a shadowy it's bipedal, right? Hope I'm saying that right. Let me know, audience, if I'm obliterating that. Bipedal figure run across a lighted area not far from the location where the previous sighting took place. So it's tying those sightings together, and it's giving us another person's perspective. Boggy Creek Monster. Okay.
And if you look down a little bit, there's another one. They found a skeleton in the woods that they just knew was the Boggy Creek Monster, or one of them. It had no head, no hands, and no tail.
Now,
It's
this is
not
52
supposed to have a
miles.
tail to begin with.
52 miles outside of Falk. This is in Karnak, Texas. A large skeleton discovered in the woods by two hunters. The specimen is completely intact except for a missing head, tail, and claws. Well, why would you assume it has a tail? Does Bigfoot have a
Nobody
tail?
talks about a tail.
Bigfoots don't have
Nobody
tail,
talks about it.
right?
And Bigfoots don't have tails.
Skunk ape don't have a tail.
Mm-mm. And it's not going to have its claws anymore either, because I saw an old picture of the skeleton, and that's all it is a skeleton. What they have on their hands is a murder victim.
Well, now listen what happened. The hunters take the bones from the property and give them to Smokey Crabtree. Who's that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I want to hear about this guy.
But he still got it. And I couldn't find anywhere that they had it tested. And I'm serious.
Smokey.
I think this is a crime scene.
A true story by Smokey Crabtree. He's an author. He wrote about Smokey and the Fal Monster. He passed away in 2016. Goodness.
Yeah, there's lots of books.
What a
about this
great
creature.
name. Are you kidding me? Smokey Crabtree. I wouldn't believe it. I wouldn't believe it's his real name. I would think it's like a pen name.
Oh, no, we got just old and weird names.
Yeah, it's his real name. Smokey Crabtree right here. 88 years old. Oh, here we go. Mr. Julius Elmo, known as Smokey. Gotcha. But still. Wow.
Yeah.
He also owned the Big Stop grocery store in Oak.
Pretty sure his family has a murder victim they need to hand over to the police. I mean, it totally could be, but what are the chances? You know, we've never found a Bigfoot skeleton or anything like that. So what are the chances that in Texas they accidentally have one with a head missing?
Yeah.
That sounds a little sus.
Let someone do some DNA testing on that, please.
Please.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can look at all of these. It's awesome. The most prominent sighting that comes with this tale happened on May 1st, 1971, where Bobby Ford, a resident of Falk, and he had only been a resident for like him and his wife, I think, for like a week. They reported to the Falk constable, because these towns are so small, we don't have deputies or anything. We just have constables everywhere. Reported to the constable that he'd been attacked at his house by a hairy creature that breathed heavily, had red eyes, and moved very fast. So, Ford says that this creature, which he said stood about 7 foot tall and must have been about 3 feet across its chest, it's big, put its arms around his shoulder and grabbed him and tossed him to the ground. Well, of course he got up and ran away. I mean, who wouldn't? I'd be terrified.
Mm-hmm.
He ran so fast and so hard that when he got home, he didn't even open the front door. He ran through it. Seriously. So he ended up having to go to the hospital because he was so shaken by what had happened. They found large gashes across his back, some other scratches, bruises, and he was in shock. So, you know, it wasn't a long stay, but he did have to go.
Okay.
So later that night, his wife, Elizabeth, was laying asleep on the sofa in the front living room, and the creature reached through her screen window, and I'm assuming it busted the screen as it came in, because you can't live in these areas without screen windows. The mosquitoes will carry you away.
Mm-hmm.
Reached through. She saw its hairy arm and its long fingernails, saw its red eyes, and she started screaming. Well, luckily, her husband and his brother Dan were nearby. They ended up scaring the creature off. They said they spotted it around the back of the house with their flashlights before it ever actually took off. They shot at it. They saw it fall. They went to the spot. Nothing was there. No blood. Nobody ever found any blood. And they shot at this thing a lot. So they report this to the sheriff's office. The sheriff's office comes out. They look over everything. They see, where something's reached through the front window. They found all kinds of unusual footprints, big footprints nearby, and they could see scratches on the front porch, and I believe around the window and the side of the house. They found big scratches. Well, when a reporter with the Texarkana Gazette found out about this, he blasted it out over the radio, through the newspaper. It got picked up internationally. So now everybody knows about the Fal Monster. It did so well in the newspapers that they ended up making a movie out of it called The Legend of Boggy Creek. And now the movie is called a pseudo-documentary thriller.
Uh-oh.
And it stars some of the eyewitnesses and residents of Falk.
Pseudo documentary, huh? So that means, yeah, they got people from the local area that might or might not have actually had experiences, but they're acting like they had experiences.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a Blair Witch type twist.
It is, but there's more truth than the Blair Witch.
Okay.
It is, seriously. Everybody, there's just constant sightings. They hear it screaming. And I even have a video on here where it screams. This is Boggy Creek, a part of it itself. And you see how dense the vegetation is.
Mm-hmm.
When you get into the real swampy parts, it's like you can't even walk between the trees.
Yeah.
It's that dense out there, but that's supposedly where this thing lives. And I could see how it could go undetected because it is hard to get around. A lot of times you have to have a skiff or something with you to get through the water because it's not so deep. You have to have a boat, but you kind of do,
Yeah. One thing I would throw just as a counter to that is, there are people that are good at tracking. And when you have this kind of foliage, this dense and this thick, like think of all the opportunities for, I don't even want to say footprints, but outside of that, like, branches that are broken off because of how tight these passages are. And if you're talking about a monster that's 7 feet tall and 3 feet wide, there's going to be a lot of that type of movement where things are snapped and broken as it's passing through.
And you constantly get hunters out there. There's always, they're hunting, and they're hunting for the Boggy Creek Monster.
Oh, no.
See that big old footprint? Stop laughing.
Do I see? Okay. I see a big giant print.
With big old toes. Look at those great big toes.
It does look like toes. I'll tell you the biggest problem I have with this photo is I have nothing to tell me the size. Like this could be a legit animal print, but there's nothing like just tips. If any of you watching this are out and you come across a footprint like this, just throw a quarter down next to it or something of known size so that it can kind of give us perspective on this. Because this thing could be like that could be a legit bear paw, tiger print. Like there's all kinds of different prints that this could be. Honestly, most of the Bigfoot prints that I see, traditional Bigfoot, are shaped more like a human foot, like with a big toe and then smaller digits as it goes down to the smallest. This doesn't look like that to me. This looks like pretty even kind of pads for the toe size.
Does it go back to being, a Sasquatch-like creature? Do you think maybe his feet are just a little different? Because I have more pictures.
7 feet tall.
He might.
I don't know if he has.
Look at that. That's huge.
But what is this?
It's a footprint.
That's not a print. That's like that's a bunch of cottonweed that's got stuck in a thicket. That's not a footprint.
That is definitely a footprint.
Do you have cottonwood where you live?
We have a lot of cotton.
Yeah, we have cottonwood trees out here. And what happens is literally anything that, like even our screens for our windows, if we leave our windows open, they will collect the cotton. Like literally every couple years, I got to go with lint brushes on all the screens just to get all the cotton off. We have a guy that has to service our air conditioner. He literally uses a blowtorch to burn all of the cotton out of the vents in the air conditioner.
Oh, wow. See, we've got 2 different kinds of cottonwoods in Arkansas, but
yeah.
And like in the area I live, they're not that bad.
Oh,
I see
like when you drive around, do you see it?
Yeah.
Like floating in the air? Yeah.
Yeah, I call them free floating allergens that are trying to kill me.
I'm surprised you don't call them little fairy wisps. Because, to say they could look paranormal, right? Because this little kind of
really could.
mystical thing.
Yeah.
Oh, one's following me. Look, there's a little fairy wisp following. This, to
They're
me, just
cute.
This looks like a collection of that, or some type of light material that should have been floating by and it got caught up. I mean, look at these weeds that it's in. Like, these look fierce. Like the type of
I think
grass.
it's a rat foot.
I completely acknowledge the shape that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it doesn't make sense to me. Like if this was mud and I saw that shape in mud, I would say, okay, that looks like it's supposed to be a footprint that's in the mud. Like I would get that. Okay. Just
then on to the next picture.
Yeah, just like what this is made up of isn't saying footprint to me. This is, for sure. And look, someone took the tip. Oh, they did even better. Now, how they knew... Christy.
Yeah.
You're out in the woods.
Yeah.
Why do you have a measuring tape?
Experienced Bigfoot hunters know they're going to have to measure some things.
If it's an experienced Bigfoot hunter, I will take that. I also want to bring up the possibility that someone knew they were going to fake a picture and they brought the tape with them.
Well, that's always a possibility. I'm just thinking they were prepared.
This one's decent. That looks like a footprint. And obviously it's twice the size of a human foot.
Oh yeah.
So that's good.
Now this is a classic example of a Bigfoot declaring its territory. They don't know if it means to stay out of the territory or not, but a lot of times you have Sasquatch activity. You find bundles of trees. You find trees that are, stacked as an X, things like that. And that's one of the sites that they found.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'd wonder about this is it something that someone had set up because they had a tarp and they were staying out there for the night and they just kind of made this cross section and put a tarp up on
I
it?
don't know. I do know that this is something that I see in every Bigfoot hot area. And you have a lot of hunters and people camping too. Maybe it is, but you always have these. And there's other bundles. I think I have a picture of another one. They, oh no, that's him.
That's who?
That's the Bigfoot.
Are you seeing a person in this?
I see Bigfoot is what I see.
You see a Bigfoot?
Fal Monster. I see the Fal Monster.
Oh, I don't know. There is just not enough detail for me to even tell you. I mean, that could be a cave. Behind something.
It's just all that hair.
A tree line. This photo has been really zoomed in and it's a crappy photo. Yeah, it's a crappy photo to start with. Like, this quality sucks.
Well, and see, the problem that I had with getting the real pictures and the made-up pictures, you get a lot of pictures from the film out there. And people are like, the Fal Monster. I'm like, no, it's an actor in a suit. That's not the Fal Monster.
Oh, yeah, so that's a problem, too.
I was limited.
Yeah. What is this? Chrissy, you took a selfie and you threw it in the pile.
I think that's what he was doing.
Do you know what's the story behind this picture? I mean, this is just someone's teeth.
It's the Fal Monster. That's the story.
No, come on. This is what that guy tried to do. I think I've told you guys this story already, but I'll repeat it just in case. The only time I was ever threatened, knock on wood, with any type of lawsuit was when I did a review of one of those Bigfoot movies. And I tore it apart. And I said, this is a joke. Nothing this guy found is legit. And there was one moment in that movie where it was a close-up, like this close, on an animal's face. And you could see it was legit because its eye was blinking and the way it was moving around. I'm like, okay, that's not CGI. But it's clearly a gorilla's face. It's just been zoomed into a point where you can't see the rest of its head and say, oh, that's obviously a gorilla.
Mm-hmm.
That's
well,
kind
shame
of what
on him for trying to fake pictures like this.
Oh, and then threatening to sue me. Yeah. Yeah, that's all that I think is happening here. I think this is something that someone just kind of like, I'm going to take a selfie up this close, or took an existing picture and just zoomed in on it. Because again, like, look at the graininess in this photo. Mm-hmm. This has been super, super zoomed in on. Why?
That's because he hides well. He's known to hide behind trees and like peek out at hunters and
so this is a zoom in of him peeking out from behind a tree or something. Show me the whole thing, you know, like this.
I wish I could have found the whole one.
Yeah, but the story of this photo being the way it is challenging for me, because this has been zoomed in. Like, look, you can literally see the different colors that are making up the image here. This has been ridiculously zoomed in. And if this is truly the mouth, the teeth, the nose, why did you zoom it in this far? Why are you going to knock out the eyes, the ears, the shape of the head? I don't know.
Fear that people will steal the evidence that they have found. That's all I can come up with.
Yeah.
There's another one.
Then you should sell it. What is this? This is a badger.
I think that's his butt.
What?
I do. I don't know if he was bending over. He saw the trail cam and went,
oh my God. I think this is from that documentary that wanted to sue me. Oh my goodness.
No, I believe that's his butt. It could be his back and he's sitting down because you can see the arm to the left.
Yeah,
but then that would mean
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But this, I mean, if any of them could be a guy in a suit, this is the one, right? Like, this could be taken from one of those movies.
To me, this is just a clear cam photo of the Boggy Creek Monster.
This is a very clear photo. Okay. What do we have here? What is this?
This is one of the calls that they recorded out in the woods. This is the Boggy Creek Monster.
Okay. Oh, wait.
And that is the owner of the Monster Mart.
Is he related? Is he a, what was the guy's name? Smokey Crawfish?
No, as far as I know, he's not. But it's a very small town, so it's entirely possible.
Okay, let's try this again.
The following is a recording taken by Denny's brother, Ricky Roberts.
It didn't go. Can you guys hear it okay? Because I can't hear it on my end.
I could hear it.
I don't have to. Okay, I don't have to hear it. I have heard it.
That's a siren, says Felicity.
I don't know what it is. You know, I live out here and I haven't heard that out in the woods. But I have heard other things.
Yeah, it is interesting. I know what Felicity's saying, and I don't know if maybe it was just a clip that they ran 3 times in a row. But if they're saying that was all one clip, she's making a good point, because the oscillation of the sound is exactly the same each of the 3 times that it happens. I'm suspecting that the clip was really just short and they ran it 3 times in a row to help you hear it. In that case, I just, I've heard animals. I live in an area where I have a lot of natural habitat around me, and I hear a lot of wildlife. And sometimes you just hear sounds that just don't make sense. And there's things going on out there that aren't always pretty and great. And sometimes animals are going after each other for some reason. And if you hear a creature fighting for its life, like, it really, really sticks with you. And it's very clear. And it, like, I had one particular instance where like my blood was boiling. Like I could tell that, you know, it might have been like a domesticated cat or something that was being killed outside. And it's a terrifying, terrifying sound. If that's not something like a siren, you know, to Felicity's point, I would think it could be some kind of wildlife that's engaged in a fight for its life or something along those lines. Also, just imagining a creature that's 7 feet tall, 3 feet wide. Is that the type of voice or sound you would expect to come from it? Like a bear growls. Like we're talking bassy, deep noises. I don't know.
Well, and that's one of the things that people have tried to say, oh, well, it's just a black bear that people are seeing. Well, and we do have a lot of black bear. I've seen several throughout my life. And even standing up on its hind legs, you're not going to mistake it for Bigfoot. It's clearly a bear.
Yeah.
There is another picture in here of a Bigfoot print. If you can find it, I would like for you to show it. It's a cast of a Bigfoot print.
Oh, yeah, I did not see that in the photos I got.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me go in here because I definitely want everybody to see this picture. Let's see. Here we go. I'll drop this one into our Zoom chat so you can pull it up for everybody.
All right, let's see here. Nope. That's what you sent me.
Uh-oh. Oh no, guys. Hold on. Oh no.
The proof.
No.
This is the one that would have proved everything.
Oh no. Where did it go? Well, crap. Anyway, what it was a plaster cast of one of the Boggy Creek Monster's footprints, and he has a bunion. And it's a big, it is. It's a big bunion. I feel bad for him, but it's very clear in the print.
Okay.
Very clear. Okay. Very clear. And the man, Doyle Holmes, he and his son are the ones that found it. They were out hunting. And of course, if you live in this area, you're going to carry, you know, plaster casting and stuff with you because
with your measuring tape
running around.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you got to have this stuff.
They should sell at the mart.
Yeah.
They should sell kits for like, oh, you're going out to find Boggy Creek? Here you go. This kit has everything you need in it. It's got measuring tape, plaster cast material, a disposable camera, so you can take really crappy, grainy photos for some reason, and then free software where you can zoom in to the point where you can't see anything in those photos at all.
Yeah. Yeah. They're never good, ever. You can look at someone on satellite. Pick them out of a crowd of 1,000 people.
Christy, take a little time this weekend and go find a digital picture of yourself from 20 years ago. And then compare it to a picture from your cell phone today.
Mm-hmm.
There is an amazing difference. It is like the old photo looks horribly old at this point. The pixels are all big and giant and grainy. Now, put that perspective in context with these photos of Bigfoot. All the photos of Bigfoot or any of these guys that we've ever seen. There has been no development in terms of film or quality. They are always crappy. They're always incomplete, super zoomed in. Like, no one can just take a decent photo. We are an Instagram nation. But no one in the woods can take a decent photo.
Well,
I don't know.
He's just good at avoiding us is what it is.
Well, we also have a big point here from the person I consider an expert at cryptozoology, and that's Chris Donovan. And she asks, where are the biological remains? These creatures...
I said, I have tried. I can't find anywhere.
Chrissy, I need you out in the woods looking. These creatures,
I know.
if they avoid us, had millions of years alone and another 20,000 years of indigenous people without major developments. Why have we never hit a grave?
I have a feeling that there's a huge mecha complex, a necro complex, where the Bigfoot are carried.
Oh,
And laid to
necro
rest.
threw my brain in a whole different direction. I think they eat each other when they die. How about that?
That would explain it.
They're cannibals too. Especially this
That
one,
would
Boggy
explain
Creek. You
it.
kidding me? Yeah. Why do you think he stinks so bad?
Yeah, that I do not. I mean, there's even a report in here. One group of people, they were out frog gigging, and they ran into him. And I mean, you don't have it's at night. You don't have your phone ready and a camera. You're out there stabbing frogs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that scared them too. There's constant sightings. This whole town makes its income from these sightings, I swear. But they're consistent, and there's always somebody out there investigating.
That list is
I
impressive.
feel-
I like the list. The list is good.
Mhm. Yep.
But to your point, yeah, it is profitable for there to be sightings. So
Well, I mean, they can't help it if it landed in their lap. You've got to take advantage of it.
I guess so. We put it to our live audience. Is the Boggy Creek monster a hoax? And Christy, I don't know if you noticed, but I changed the answers on this. So the two options that they could vote on were folk yes and folk no. Is the monster a hoax? 74% of our live audience said folk yes, it's a hoax. And
Whatever you do not go to Fal, Arkansas.
I guess not.
You will come away changed.
You can falk off. Here, hold on a second.
Yes,
Oh,
Chris.
I need to make one of
Stabbing
them.
frogs.
I need one where have them making a plaster cast of a Bigfoot that they take out in the woods and then they stamp it into the ground and then take a picture of it. That's what I need. I need a new video for these stories.
Mm,
Oh, Christy.
it's
Audience,
real.
the audience did not roll with you on this one, unfortunately, but that's only the live audience. What about you guys that are watching? You can get your vote in too. Tell us in the comments down below. Maybe Christy's going to swing back and tell me, hey, John, a bunch of people came and tilted that vote because in the comments there, everyone's saying they believe in it. And Christy,
I do.
if you find that picture and you really think that the bunion and the plaster cast is going to tilt the opinion of everyone, put a link to it in the comments there, and then we can pin that at the top and people can check that.
Okay.
All right.
And I can find that again. I found it once. I can find it again.
Okay. All right.
The truth, the proof, right there.
Well, thank you so much, Christy, for all your hard work on this episode. I had a great time, as always, looking into this. I really appreciate your work on this. And thank you guys for joining us. We will see you on the other side.